Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be changing a set of brakes, calipers, and rotors on the front of a 2008 Chevy Malibu. So if you're brand new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you've watched some of my other videos before, this is going to be similar to it. I'm going to go through the layout on what tools you'll need first, and then I'll go through a quick thing on how to do them out so that you're all set. So hopefully this helps. Okay, so here's the tools we're going to use. I'm going to use some electric impact. So I got a Makita 1/2-inch drive impact and a 3/8 drive impact. So I'm going to be using a 19mm 1/2-inch drive impact socket, 15mm 1/2-inch drive impact socket, and the rest of these are 3/8. I need a 15mm, a 14mm, and 11mm impact 3/8 socket. An extension is what I used on the other side. We're also going to use some wrenches here for the other components, a 11mm and a 10mm. A breaker bar, torque wrench, light, because who doesn't need a light, zip tie, some brake fluid, and a piece of 1/4-inch line will do, a pair of cutters. I got all my parts from Advanced Auto, which is basically CarQuest. So it's a Weaver rotor, Weaver brakes set of pads, gold, and Weaver caliper right there. So all brand new stuff. I would highly suggest changing everything out if you're going to do this, because it just turns into a pain in the butt down the road. All right, so first thing we're going to do is remove this tire. Get the 19mm. Really like these Makita impacts. They're really hit with a lot. Go ahead and remove all these. Get this tire out. As long as you get the tire off these, all this salt and stuff in there from New York, I'm going to go ahead and pressure wash this out, because this will get your tires off balance and stuff. We'll go ahead and clean them up before we put it back on. You already got the vehicle jacked up, and I got a jack stand underneath it, so she should be safe. I'm going to go ahead and turn the wheel this way so that we can see it a little better. Go ahead. Go ahead, turn the wheel. The other way. The other way. Good. Okay, so some of that grinding, I'm sure, is probably from this here, that. See that stuff right there? Let me just see if I can see it just blow away. That would be, yeah, not good. So that's where the grinding is coming from, I'm sure. Some metal shavings flying everywhere here. So we're gonna go ahead and get everything unboxed here. We got some washers and stuff in there. That's where our brake line will go on. Here's our pieces for our brakes. We get all them set aside. And this should be a 14mm on here. Nope, sorry. 11, 10, 9, 8. Where are you? Must be a 12. Oh, my apologies. If you haven't paid attention in the video, I didn't mention a 12 before. You're definitely going to need a 12 for this. Not bad. Take these off. Maybe. Take one side of this off, that's all you gotta do. And that'll flip open. Then you can go ahead and put these, snap these right in. Snap that one in. Snap this one in. And we'll put the brake pads on. Take a minute to get them right here. I will get them right. Alright, so they're set in there now, where they're supposed to be. I'll just go ahead and put this together here. All right, well, that's good. A little longer than I thought it would. First, thick 15 millimeter. Right back in there. Put it on that one there. So where I needed that extension before. Make sure we're going the right direction here before I twist the beam. Okay, so you'll see, you're going to take this bolt out here, and the lower one out, that's going to take the whole caliper right off. I'm not going to bother with these, taking all these other bolts off, because they're going to end up coming off anyways, but I will have to get rid of that brake line before I take it on off. But, all right, so last thing we'll do, we'll grab our 11. Sure we're going in the right direction and bust this line loose. Have a container to catch that brake fluid. And we'll go ahead and zip these bolts out. Take them bolts out and then Grab this caliper right off here. We'll set that off the side. That rotor comes off. Easy. New rotor goes on. Piece of cake. New caliper goes on. Okay. So make sure that you got your bleeder facing up. Okay, if your bleeder's not facing up, you're not going to be able to bleed your brakes. Go ahead and set this in here. Get it where it needs to be. Make a little lining up to do it, but should go right in pretty easily. Just line up your top one first. Maybe. So I got my top lined up. I'll go ahead and line up my bottom one. That way that's done. And I'm going to zip those in quick. My 15 quarter-inch drive. I don't want to tighten it all the way up just yet. I'm just going to get it started. Then I'll put my brake line on. Washer on one side, washer on the other. Inspect, make sure it looks clean. A couple pieces of rust there we'll get rid of. Push this on. Put the new brake line onto it. Nothing worse than brake fluid on your fingers. Tight. Go ahead and we'll tighten our lower ones up now. Tighten these bolts up here. This is where you're going to use the breaker bar, just to make sure they're snug. Yep. In the truck. In the truck. In the car. Okay, that one's good. We're going to go ahead. Why do you have to walk in front of me? I'm going to go ahead and bleed the brakes. Make sure that you got enough brake fluid in the brake caliper, or excuse me, the brake reservoir before you do this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this line here and put this line right on my bleeder. Put it down in my brake fluid, and then go ahead.
Whoa.
All right, well, it looks like we got a leak. Looks like we got a leaker. Did not get it clean enough, I don't think. Sprayed up in the air, didn't it? Pump it. Hard. Hold it hard. Yeah, sometimes you'll have that. It's got a little piece of rust underneath it or whatever. All right, go ahead, pump it. Get air bubbles there. Air bubbles. Air bubbles. Air bubbles. Pump it up hard. Is it good and hard? Yeah, there you have it. There's where all your metal came from. The brake pad is gone. Okay, we'll go ahead and clean up this tire and we'll put it back on. Okay, we'll go ahead and put this back on. Go ahead and start all your nuts first. Make sure you do that before you put any impact on, because you'll strip them right out. Okay. Big gun. Make sure you're torquing down the right sequence too. Grab 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright. Then we'll go ahead and torque them down. Book says between 90 and 120 foot-pounds. So, there you have it. New rotors, calipers, and brakes on a 2008 Chevy Malibu. Remember, if you like this one, make sure you hit the like button, share, and please subscribe. It helps me out. So, like I said, I'll let this thing down, take the jack stands out, but have a good day and be safe.